So, hi everybody and welcome back to the Unreal Engine 5 tutorial series for absolute beginners. This is video 84 and in this video we are talking about landscape splines, and let's get started. So first of all, we are in selected mode, then we select our landscape, then we go here on the right side and change some options. And the option which I want to change is first LOD set, because it's new for this one, it's 0, so the landscape is not moving. And then the next thing is layer. We write here layer, it jumps to the layer and it says here enable edit layers, and we check this and say yes, we want to edit these layers. So now with that said, we are finished with setting up our landscape, and we change now from selected mode here on the left side to landscape. Here in landscape we go to manage, and here in manage we go here where it says splines and we select this. After we selected that, then we go down to edit layers, and then we have here where it says layers. Let's right click it and say create, and then the top one we are calling right clicking again. Of course you can rename this. In my case I don't rename it. You can rename it for landscapes or for splines or something like that. I right click on it and I say reserve for splines, so this layer, and say yes. So this layer is now reserved for splines. Perfect. We have one layer just for splines. So now I'm in the spline modus. I can add now splines. How I add splines is here you press Ctrl and left mouse click, and what you see right now here is an icon for a spline. So here on the right side in details panel we have many options, and I want to change this half width to 200 because it should be similar like I wrote later. And now if I right click here a little bit away and hold Control, first hold Control and then right click, and you should see something and it happens nothing. Very nice. Again, okay, now it worked. Hold Control and right click, and then you see we have a spline, our first spline. But let's talk here a little bit. First of all, this one is a control point. Let's see if I can see this here. Something like here it says select all content. We have here control points. These are the control points, and when you click here segments, then we have some segments as well. So that's I think you should read this in the documentation a little bit more in detail, because now I want to continue. So I select this one again, and if I change here to this move tool, of course I can make it shorter, longer, like I want, but I want to make here a circle for demonstration. So I press hold Control again and click here. I hold Control again, click here. And you see, you could make here already a road or something like you want, but for demonstration purposes, I make just here. Let's make here a little circle. And at the end point, I click again at the same point where I started, and you see it is connecting this one. But here in the end, we have a problem. Let's go there fast. Select this control point here. Let's select this one. Let's change to rotation mode, and we just rotate. And when you rotate, you see this is just adjusting it automatically, and you can do this with all other things too. So with that said, our spline road is ready, and of course it must be not a road. You can build with that what you want, fence or anything like that. So let's continue. We have something like that. Now I go here in details panel on the right side. I go here to segments. I click on it, and you see here all the segments are highlighted now. What you see here, this all this kind in the middle are our segments now, and they are highlighted. And now what I'm going to do is I scroll not really down, I search something special. And this, what I'm searching, is called landscape spline meshes. If you find that, it says here spline meshes, and it is an array, which means we can click here on this plus sign to add an element to it. And then we expand this index, and now you can see we can add here a mesh. And of course, you should add something proper. For example, a road mesh or a fence mesh or anything what you want to do with the spline. Must be not a fence or a road. Can be anything creative, fantasy or whatever. But for this demonstration, I will just go to the starter content so you can follow along if you are following this one. And then I just select a prop, but we have to select a static mesh. It says here, you can see this color here on the bottom. It is indicating it must be a static mesh, and this color matches with them because they are all static meshes here. That's good. And just for fun, I'm adding, let's see what we are going to add. Let's see these pillars here. Let's just add these pillars for fun. And I add it, and now I have, whoa, perhaps this was a little bit too much, but whatever, now we have big pillars. That was also a very nice, interesting thing to make a big thing. Let's change this. These pillars are cool, but too big. Of course, you can scale this and so on, but that looks like a building almost, something like that. Let's add something. Let's add tables for fun. Why not? I'm going to add now tables. First of all, yeah, now the tables are here. This is just for fun. And you see, I have now tables. So far so good. So we can add static meshes and they are automatically added. And of course, you can make whatever you like. But the interesting thing with this editable layer is, now I can select one of these control points. Let's go back to our control point, something like that. The problem is that how I highlight this, I have no clue. You have to read this in the documentation, but let's select one of these control points. So I'm selecting this one, for example. And now when I change here to this move skill, you can see what happens. I move it down, and because it's an edit layer of the landscape, the layer is deforming as well, and this is very handy if you create streets, roads or whatever. And the next point is you have here many options in the details panel, the fall off right side and so on. For example, instead of 1000, let's decrease this or increase it, and it makes a little bit flatter and so on. You can see you can change here a lot of things. Let's find one more control point for demonstration purposes, and now make this also a little bit lower here at this point. And yeah, this is nice to adding and making something like creative. The bad point is when we play here, of course the collision is not the problem here. The problem is here when I go to select mode. Let me show you. Keep this in mind. These meshes which are here added are not shown in your outliner. So you can be fooled by a map which says there are only a few static meshes or actors or something like that, but in real it is full of static meshes. The good thing is I think it's compatible with nanite, so just activate nanite on these meshes because they are static meshes, should be possible. And there is no problem because nanite is very powerful and can handle, yeah, we know it, about a million static meshes and so on. And the next problem is you can't select them in the select mode. So if I try now select this one, yes, they are not selectable. That's the next bad point about this one. So if you want to make here level design or something like that, then you have really go to landscape mode. Now you can select the spline. So this is only meant to be for spline use. If you don't want to use something like this, then you have just use it manually again. place it like a normal level designer and change it then how you like. So that's one thing, and you can experiment with that. And of course you can add here instead this mesh actor, what I did here with tables, a road which looks awesome, or a fence which looks awesome, or make anything else which could look awesome. But one more thing I wanted to show you, and that was no, not showing, and we are going to do this probably in the next video. Of course you can make all this manual thing here a little bit more automative, which means just write a code and then you can stretch this and change this on the fly. And on YouTube or on many other documentation you will find many are showing you how you can make spline with a blueprint, adding splines to a blueprint. And this is the thing which we will probably do in the next video, because splines are nice, but with blueprints it's also nice, because these blueprints you can use then in many different places. And this spline landscape layer, what we have here, is more special, I would say. So that's why we stop here. And if you have any questions or any complaints, just write it in the comments. If not, bye for now and good luck.